Is intuitive eating for everyone? Yo lady, Vitamin Katie is here. I am a plant-based registered dietitian. I love helping women feel confident, healthy, and free with a plant-based diet. I'm also a food freedom and body image coach. As you know, our food that we eat goes hand in hand with how we feel, our emotions, our mood. And if you ask me, our relationship with our food is directly related with our relationship with ourselves. So it's so important to practice and cultivate self-love and cheer ourselves on and really practice having a solid headspace before we can really dive deep into our nutrition. And this goes hand in hand with, okay, what is intuitive eating, and is intuitive eating for everyone? If you ask me, my professional opinion, I've been doing this for a little bit, I don't think that intuitive eating is necessarily for everyone 100% of the time. Yes, intuitive eating is amazing, and I think that everybody should learn about it for sure once they have the education and the wherewithal to really cultivate that. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of people out there who have been born and raised on giant Slurpee for breakfast, and they have Funyuns for lunch and McDonald's for dinner, and that's what their intuition is telling them to eat. There's also a lot of people out there who they're at work and they only have a certain amount of time that they're able to eat, right? Maybe they're traveling, they need to eat in the car. There's a lot of circumstances where it makes intuitive eating really difficult. Maybe it's something small. Maybe you're waiting for that guy to text you back. Maybe you haven't gotten a lot of sleep, and that's gonna throw off your hormones and make you crave more foods, more calorie dense foods. And of course, with today's food industry, the food scientists out there are absolutely brilliant, and they design these food products to make us crave more, especially restaurant foods, packaged processed foods. These foods are going to make it so that our intuition is like, oh my gosh, I really want this food, when in reality it's like, wait a second, is that my intuition that I really am hungry for this and I need this, or is this just full of all these chemicals that are making me crave it? Also, certain medications can throw off our intuition and our cravings. There's a lot, right? So thinking about, okay, but even when it doesn't come to food, what is intuition? Our intuition, that's our sixth sense, right? That's our gut feeling. That's like this, ooh, I have this intuitive feeling that this isn't the right job for me, this isn't the right place for me, this isn't the right relationship for me. And it's up to us, what is necessary for you, unique you, for you to listen to your intuition. Are you able to listen to that voice when you're just go, go, go? For me, it takes slowing down. It takes removing the distractions. It takes really, tuning in, taking a deep breath, noticing, okay, wow, how do I feel about this? How do I feel right now? And unless we're able to create that space, then intuitive eating is going to be really difficult. So with my practice, with my clients, when they first come to work with me, most of the time, unless it's not empowering or exciting for them at all, which of course my clients always decide how to move forward and what works best for them. I'm very client-centered and individualistic when it comes to my counseling style. I think it's really important for me to see, okay, what is realistic for you to move forward from here. However, most of the time I do for sure recommend a personalized meal plan to start off, so that they can see, oh wow, this is what it looks and feels like to be eating this many vegetables in a day, to be eating what I need and be getting my needs met with a plant-based diet. And usually they're like, wow, this is so different, you know? They're gonna feel different at first. Sometimes it's challenging. Sometimes they're like, wow, I'm really craving those curly fries. And then as time goes on, as they stick to it for a week to 2 weeks, then they're like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm actually craving kale. I'm actually craving a smoothie. My intuition is changing. So it's really, really important when we're thinking about what is intuitive eating and is intuitive eating for everybody. Let's think about the education that we have behind what we have been eating and what is healthy for us. So with this as well, I really like to keep my counseling style very individualized, because everybody is so different. And there's so many recommendations out there. Like, people say, like, you should do fasts, you should you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You should eat within an hour of waking up. You should wait to eat your first meal. There's and that's just with nutrient timing. Like, there's so many food rules, and there's so much research out there, and diet culture is full of all of these things like don't eat past 8 p.m. and if you eat refined sugars, blah blah blah. What I believe that intuitive eating is so nice and what I teach my clients around is really getting to decide for yourself what feels good for you, and to actually track health promoting behaviors, tracking your focus, your energy, your mood, tracking throughout the day how certain foods and certain meals are making us feel. So of course, when it comes to intuitive eating, let's actually tune in. Okay, wow, do I want this food? Do I want this food or not? How is this food going to make me feel? And are we empowered around that? Is that in alignment with the vision of us feeling really free and really at peace and holistically healthy, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say is for you to be practicing intuitive eating, before I even talk about what that is and how to do that, let's see where you are at right now with your headspace, and are you able to create some awareness as to how it is that you're feeling throughout the day. And I do recommend setting a timer that goes off every hour. If you're not used to listening to your body's cues, if you're not used to checking in with your body, set an alarm every single hour that goes off that is there to remind us. This is a beautiful, beautiful reminder to see, okay, where is my body at right now? Am I feeling hella stressed out? Am I feeling exhausted? Am I running myself, burning the candle at both ends? Like, is this sustainable for me? Am I able to give my commitments 100%? Or do I feel like absolute crap, you know? So when we're checking in with ourselves every hour, this provides the opportunity for us to say, oh my gosh, you know, I need to sit down and meditate for a minute. I need to take a deep breath. If we don't set that time, or if we never check in with ourselves, chances are down the road we're going to develop a chronic disease. We're going to not show up as our best selves and create a lot of stress in the world. Like, if everybody had the capacity to really practice self-care and tune in with how we're feeling, and not just tune in, but also tune in and take action steps from that place. Like, oh, I'm noticing I'm feeling exhausted, so I'm gonna take a 5-minute break or a nap. If we're actually ignoring our cues, then we're probably going to lead to exacerbated stress just in the world. Does that make sense? Like, it's up to us to really take responsibility for ourselves so that we can set a good example for others. So here we go. Let's set this alarm every hour as a reminder to check in. Am I at a green light? I love my life. I love everyone. I'm excited to get everything done on my get-to-do list. I'm so happy. I want to give to the world. Am I at a yellow light? Oof, I'm not feeling the best, but I got this. I can get this done. Or I'm at a red light. Red light means nobody talk to me. There's no way I can be productive anymore. My body hurts. Everything is awful. Right? Unless we're checking in, it's pretty easy to ignore those feelings. So number one, set a reminder, and number two, take the action steps accordingly. How many times have you set a reminder on your phone or had an app ding at you to go work out or to go take more steps, or I don't know, whatever it is, reminders that you have maybe set for yourself in the past? How many times have you ignored those reminders? It's really easy to ignore our body's cues and to ignore this reminder that we set for ourselves. It is up to you to take full responsibility for your energy, for your health, for your headspace, and truly take the action steps accordingly to what our intuition, what our reminder is doing for us. So it's number one, yeah, practicing that intuition. Okay, setting a timer for a minute maybe, and meditating. If we're at a yellow or a red light with our energy and our mood, let's set a timer, set a magic minute. Let's take a few deep breaths. Let's go for a walk. What is it for you to help you rejuvenate yourself? For me, it's different all the time. Sometimes I dance for a song. Sometimes I go for a walk. Yeah, sometimes I take a nap. Sometimes I call a friend. It's always different. And I invite you to make a list of things that help rejuvenate you and help you feel nourished and whole. Some some things that don't involve food. What does that look like for you? All right, so please do make that list and take the action steps accordingly when you're not feeling green light, feeling really good, okay? And when it comes to taking these action steps accordingly, yes, practicing intuitive eating. Let's talk about this. So once you have set yourself up for success, thinking about, okay, realistically for me, this is going to be what a healthy diet and lifestyle looks like, okay? With that, keep monitoring how it is that you're feeling throughout the day and action change accordingly, of course. I recommend using a 1 to 10 scale of hunger and fullness, 1 being, oh my gosh, I am starving, and 10 being 10 out of 10, I am so stuffed, like I could not eat one more, like half of a tip of broccoli. I don't know, like there's no way I'm stuffed. So some people think that it's necessary to wait until we're number 1 starving to eat, and that is actually counterproductive, because when we're waiting till we're that hungry, we're probably gonna binge and we're probably gonna eat way too much and then repeat this cycle and of feeling starving and then stuffed and exhausted, starving, stuffed and exhausted. I recommend checking in with yourself and noticing what your hunger cues look like when you're at a 3 or a 4 of hunger, and then notice throughout your meal, mindfully eating, taking a deep breath while you're eating. Notice, ooh, do I like this food? Do I not like this food? How does this food taste? How often are we distracted when we're eating? Maybe we're with friends, maybe we're around a distracting environment. Just taking a deep breath while we're eating is going to help a lot to notice our hunger and fullness cues. And then I recommend that we notice what our body is saying. Okay, I'm at a 7 or an 8 fullness, and yeah, maybe there's more food on the plate and it tastes really freaking good. Maybe there's desserts around and whatever, and like that hit of comfort. Maybe you're full though, you're at a 7 or 8, and you're gonna be like, huh, you know what, I'm actually at a satisfied level right now and I'm good. And taking those action steps accordingly, taking responsibility for our intuition and what that is saying, and really taking action steps from there. That is a really important practice to dial in. Once we have that awareness, the first step is the awareness, and to practice that, setting the timer every hour, noticing how is it that we're feeling, having that awareness, then let's create space between our awareness and how we're taking action. What ways of being are we being, and is it possible for us to do something else since we're not hungry anymore? Maybe we're going to yeah, like I said, go for a walk, journal, meditate. Like there's gotta be some other things. Like what would you be doing if you were not continuing to eat right now? A lot of people are just in a habit of overeating, and especially like a lot of clients that first start working with me, they say, I don't know why at night I just eat and eat and eat, I'm not even hungry anymore. And it's just because it's a habit. It doesn't have to be for any crazy reason or any trauma or anything like that. It's comforting, it's fun, it's enjoyable to eat good food, right? And let's practice, okay, wow, I'm gonna make a list of all of these things that I've always wanted to do. Personally, I love stretching at night after dinner. I love stretching, I love doing yoga, I love watching YouTube and TV and spending time with people. What kind of projects would you be doing? Like, let's create a new life for you without this habit of overeating. So all of a sudden I'm talking to an audience who overeats. This isn't necessarily for overeaters. I'm just saying that that's common with my clients. However, either way, whether you're an overeater or an undereater, practicing intuitive eating may not necessarily be for you. Yeah, maybe you're coming from an eating disorder and intuitively you would like to eat a lot less and you like to starve yourself. So that's the same thing. It may be really helpful to hire a dietitian like myself to really provide you with a solid nutrition plan, a solid meal plan, and help you navigate what your intuition, how that would best serve you. This is like, I remember I went to a Tony Robbins seminar and he said, yeah, trust your gut, but if your gut hasn't been working for you, then start trusting someone else's gut. this is especially comes to play in business and dealing with money, things like that. If you're horrible with money and you keep listening to your gut and you keep going more in debt and debt and debt, it's like, okay, maybe I should stop listening to my gut and start listening to somebody else who knows what they're doing. That comes into play also with nutrition a little bit, all right? So is intuitive eating for everybody? Yes. However, first, I think it is important to figure out what works best for you, and it's always nice to have that accountability, somebody in your corner cheering you on, holding you accountable, and making sure that you truly are seeing progress with those health promoting behaviors, working out, exercising, and you're actually fully freaking enjoying it. This life is meant to be enjoyed. This life is meant to be a lot of fun, right? And when we're doing the hard things, when we're doing the disciplined things, like maybe you don't want to go grocery shopping, maybe you don't want to work out that day, maybe you don't want to cook, doing these things like, oh my gosh, I get to do this. I get to do this hard thing because I'm so excited about the result. I'm so excited about taking care of myself. I'm so excited about the big picture, and that makes it so much more fun, right? Like I said at the beginning of this podcast, at the beginning of this video, it is so essential that we practice self-love and a positive mindset for us to have a positive and loving relationship with food and with our health in general, okay? So I really do hope that you got something out of this video. If anything, the last 3 things that I just want to recap. Number 1, making sure that you are feeling like your intuition is able to be on point because you've educated yourself, right? With what works best for you, and you've noticed that, and maybe you've hired someone like me, you've tried some meal plans or things like that that are healthy for you. Number 2, you're able to practice mindful eating. You're able to remove the distractions. You're able to really tune in with yourself, using that timer every hour. So number 1 is educating yourself. Number 2 is practicing awareness. And then number 3 is taking the action steps accordingly, right? So once we have the awareness, then it's up to you to really freaking take action and say, wow, I hear my intuition. Let's go. Let's do this. I'm going to stop eating at this point. I'm going to start eating at this point, even though, you know, usually I force myself to wait to eat breakfast. Well, hell, my intuition is saying I'm hungry now, so I'm gonna eat now. You take the action steps accordingly once you've hit that, and then you're gonna be flying, moving, grooving, free like a bird, okay? Flying high in the sky, feeling really good. Let me know if you have any questions. I really hope you enjoyed this. I think that this might stir the pot a little bit. I think that a lot of people are like, of course, intuition, always, intuitive eating for everybody. Not necessarily what I think. I think some people could use a little bit more help with it, okay? So if you have any questions or concerns, I would love to answer them for you. Leave a comment down below. Hit me up on Instagram at vitamin.katie. And of course, you can apply for a free initial consultation by clicking the link below. I would absolutely love to chat with you and see what are your biggest barriers, what are your biggest struggles to really feeling how you want to feel and thriving, feeling strong and healthy with a plant-based diet. All right, you are freaking amazing. Have a beautiful day. Bye.